Hey, what is good, Debt Free Mafia? Hey, this is Financial Coach Rick here, and I want to talk about 3 rules I'm big on everyone living by so that they can be winning financially for the rest of their life, and hopefully for not only for their children, but their children's children could continue winning because of the choices that we're making now. So on this video, I want to talk about how living debt-free, living within your means, and then when you stop trying to impress people, it just goes so far when you're trying to stretch your dollar out and trying to build generational wealth for your family. So anyways, again, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to the Mafia. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd welcome you right in. We'd love you to be a part of what we're doing here. We're trying to build a community around financial prosperity, not for our own gain, but so that we can help our family and help others and live debt-free, to where we have just this peaceful mindset going forward, where we are just able to enjoy what's important and not have to stress about money. So anyways, I kind of wanted to get right into it. Okay, so if you've even seen one video yet, and as the whole brand suggests, we are big on living debt-free, and I've done lots of videos already on that. And the biggest reason why is because you don't get held down by your day job. You don't get held down by bills. You can move if you want to move because you've got money to do it. And you're not stuck in one spot. You don't have collectors calling you. You don't have people repoing your car. You don't have to go through bankruptcy. All of these there's just so many benefits at being debt-free. And not only that, the headspace that it will allow you to be in is just so big. So going forward, and if you're not debt-free, that's fine. There's awesome ways. I've got another video called the Debt Snowball. It's the way that my wife and I paid off $65,000 in 2 years. Using that method, that's the method that I teach to my clients. As a financial coach, it's a great way to pay off that debt. Focus all of your intensity into that, and then get going on that debt-free journey. Man, whenever we got debt-free, it was just awesome. It was such a good feeling. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of sacrifice. Had to say no to a lot of fun trips. Had to say no to going out to eat a lot. Had to say no to doing a lot of stuff. But now we're able to say yes way more than we used to be, because we don't have payments to make, and we don't have this just burden on our shoulders like we did. So that's rule number 1. We definitely want to be living debt-free. The second one is living within our means. Now, you've heard this saying a whole lot, and that doesn't mean live broke. But I think there's one underrated aspect when it comes to when you're living within your means, which essentially is, hey, don't spend more than you make, right? That's really simple. But there's one caveat to that I think a lot of people don't get, especially here in America. I've noticed it a whole lot. And there's an example that I love to use, metaphor for that. But that is, the biggest thing that I think a lot of people miss is whenever they start to get more money, say it's an inheritance, say it's a pay raise, say they get their debt paid off so their cash flow's higher. What is the natural reaction for a lot of people who get pay raises? They go and buy more stuff, or they upgrade the home, or they buy a new car, or whatever it might be. We start to consume more when our income increases, and there's stats to back that up. And it's just time in and time in. And so I live in Midland, Texas, which is the middle of the West Texas oil field, and I see this all the time. Every time oil starts to boom again, bonuses, overtime, it all goes up. People start to spend way more. And then when oil falls and that overtime and those bonuses stop, people are held on to all these things that they're making payments on, can't make payments on them anymore because they're stuck. And so it's just this revolving cycle. So what we do is we want to have our established budget and keep on our budget. And as raises come, that extra money we're not going to be spending, but we're going to be in either saving or investing in some way. So that way that money starts working for us and is there if something were to happen, whatever it might be. That way we are not getting too wild too fast. There's nothing wrong with buying a new house, buying new cars, but that's something you definitely want to do slowly and not quickly. So don't jump on the new pool just yet, just because you got a nice new position in the company or promotion, whatever it might be. So I think that one is super important. Like I was talking before, I know whenever oil starts to go downhill here in the oil country, those used car lots start to pile up with Shelby Mustangs and jacked up lifted trucks. It's super nuts to me. It happens every single time. Like these guys, they go and they work crazy amounts of hours because there's so much demand when oil is high, and then it just gets bottomed out like this last year when COVID hit and just the market's totally crashed. Oh, it's put so many people in a bad spot. So we want to treat raises and bonuses and all this stuff as if it's just additional, and we're not going to adjust our standard of living because of it. So that's a big one. I think it's super underrated. That's a mindset that you want to have going forward. Lastly, and this one is, I'm very guilty of it. So that's why I'm totally okay with talking about it. This is something you might be able to resonate with. You might not. There's not everybody's this way. But that is wanting to impress people. You'll see people wearing super expensive stuff, whether it's, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior. I'm a sucker for sneakers. I love sneakers. Like anytime I see somebody with some off-white Jordan 1s, I'm always like, well, those are probably a knockoff because I'm super cynical. No, I'm just kidding. But I get a little bit jealous because I'm like, man, they must be balling because they're rocking off-whites. And I just think it's just such a cool thing that I kind of catch myself wanting that. I'm like, well, I could go and put those on a credit card and get them now and spend a ridiculous amount on this and then go into debt trying to get these shoes. But man, would I look cool, kind of having that mindset. So that's a really, really easy trap to fall into. I think if I had to be completely honest with you guys, I think probably one of the areas where most people are guilty of this is their vehicle. People get really embarrassed in driving older vehicles that aren't sexy. It's the number one. It's one of the number one killers to a budget is a car payment, and people love to go and get. See, this is also interesting too because I recently saw a list of the brands that millionaires drive, and believe it or not, Bugatti wasn't number one. Lexus, Mercedes, BMW, none of those were number one. The number one brand of car that a millionaire drives is a Toyota. And that's not by coincidence. Guys, it's really easy to get wrapped up because you see these brand new cars. They literally get upgraded every single year. So you go out and buy a new car, and then the next year, you're already driving an old vehicle is what it feels like. So there's just kind of this trap, and brands love it. That's why there's so many different brands out there of vehicles, and that's why they spend so much money on ads. I challenge you, next time you watch a car ad, look at the angle that they're taking. A lot of the angles that they take in their car ads are, this would make your life better. This would make you better than other people. That, I don't know about you, but I never had a Lexus with a giant red bow waiting for me in the driveway. And I hope not, because that's not in a position that we want to be in right now, but maybe one day. And again, there's nothing wrong with buying a new vehicle. If you got the cash to do it and you're okay with taking that kind of a hit, that's fine. But I think that, we really need to have this mindset of, hey, right now, if we're getting out of debt or we're trying to build wealth, a car should be something that gets us from point A to point B. Reliably, right? It doesn't have to be a complete junker. And so I'm a big advocate for it. Let's not go out and buy the Tesla just because we want to look cool, right? So that's kind of one of those moments where we got to be just real with ourselves. Do I really want this, or am I psyching myself out because I want to look cool? And I think another thing too that I really run into a lot as a financial coach is a lot of people have this mindset of any car that's older than 5 years old is unsafe. And guys, that's just not true. I mean, all of us grew up in older vehicles, and a lot of us didn't even grow up in car seats. The thing is vehicles now are so much safer than what they were 50 years ago. I mean, you get a vehicle with 100,000 miles, and that's essentially like the older vehicles when they'd hit 50,000 miles. You got vehicles who are hitting 200, 300, even 400,000 miles, no problem now, as long as they're well taken care of. And I mean, by that, all I mean is getting their tires changed, getting oil changed, staying on top of maintenance, getting it fixed, and not letting things get drug out. A vehicle nowadays just lasts a long time. So let me encourage you in that spot. That's, again, not to just try to make you feel bad. My goal there is just that you kind of have this reality checkpoint, because the thing is I almost signed up for a car payment to get my wife a Mercedes, and I, later, hence kind of looking back, was like, you know what, I really wanted that because there's this real status thing that I was kind of struggling with. But I'm really glad I didn't do that, because it would have been a super expensive payment, and that vehicle would have dropped in price so fast, just because it would have been brand new right off the lot. Loses value like that. But we'll do a video of that the other day, or in another day. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. If this was helpful, if these 3 rules were helpful, let me know what your 3 financial rules are below, or if you had any ideas of something that you've heard before that you think was helpful, like tidbit or tip or quote that you've kind of lived by to help with your financial journey. Let me know below. Anyways, I appreciate you stopping by. Again, if you're not part of the Mafia, just hit that subscribe button. That's all I ask. Hit the like button. We'd love for you to be a part of this. Guys, anyways, we'll talk to you later, and hope you have a great day. Peace.